This quilt by Outdoor Vitals has long been my favorite backpacking quilt, but they made some changes recently that are interesting to say the least. The changes are so... I don't even have a word for it. So I invited the owner of the company out to explain these changes himself.
Well, if you cut this open, do dollar bills fly out?
They do.
How come you never went down the open footbox route like everybody else does? I've never had drafts with it ever. Where's the wizardry involved in that?
What's the #1 complaint you have about top quilts?
Oh, yeah! I heard you brought something for me. Is this true?
I did, yeah. Something you've liked from us in the past that I thought would be good to show you a refresh on it.
So maybe we should put it on the table and show everyone. They probably already know from the title and thumbnail.
Probably.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go. Right there. Our newest version of our top quilt.
Okay. Your other top quilts are some of my favorite quilts of all time. They're one of the few quilts that you don't see the gapping on the pads.
Like as far as like drafts and stuff.
Yep, no drafts. Yeah. I've never had drafts with it ever. Where's the wizardry involved in that?
No. It's all curves and, angles and, all the stuff that, it's all the little nuanced stuff that just self-seals, So that was the goal, right, with this redesign, is to keep everything that people liked about the last model, which a lot of it is that self-sealing nature.
Okay.
And then, make it better than that. So I guess if we want to start there, we could flip this over and I'll show you essentially what we've done with that.
Oh, I like this color.
Yeah. You picked it, so.
I did not pick this color. Did I really?
He specifically was like, I want this blue.
I did not.
Like, okay, Dan, we'll make it just for you.
We're already starting out on a bed of lies.
Oh. You sit on a throne of lies.
On the back of this bag, you'll see a lot of top quilts out there that just have very straight seams.
Okay.
Straight seam is not optimized for anything, I guess you could say. It's not gonna hug your body or do anything different there. So we definitely, you see a lot of curve in this, right? Specifically in this area, you see a lot of different curves. So we make ours really wide through here. You're 56 inches wide at the widest point right here, which is part of what allows you to have enough space for it to really wrap around the body. But then you'll see some big curves coming out this way, and then along the top, as well as a curve even from that corner to that corner, okay?
Okay.
So what that does is snapping this around your head becomes easier. I don't know if you've ever kind of fought that where you're trying to get the snap back there. Gets a little tight or a little bit hard.
Why is it easier?
Because these corners actually extend higher than this middle point now.
Okay.
So that extension allows it to snap back there a little bit easier, but also just it fits more evenly instead of having it kind of pulling down in the back. So that's a big part of it. And then the way that this, when you snap this together at the top, you'll notice that this all wants to kind of tuck up underneath you by having it so if those points were as wide as everything else, if this was a straight angle and you snap those, it doesn't want to pull these edges in.
Okay.
But by having that actually neck down, you can see it's obviously not 56 inches wide there. That actually helps tuck all of this back underneath you, if that makes sense. So I run this top quilt a lot with no pad straps, period.
What?
Yeah, all the time. In fact, if I ever do take a pad strap, I only take one and to go here.
There's a lot of danger involved in those words.
Danger?
Yeah, man. Your middle name is Danger.
Danger's my middle name.
Now, Dan, what's the #1 complaint you have about top quilts?
The #1 complaint I have about top quilts is they're cold when they're not. I don't know. What?
Come on.
Wait, Emmett, what is the #1 complaint?
It's the string thing that hits your
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's still there, but
Yeah.
what we've added is these little keepers. So you can, because the reason you have the string here, right, is so that it tightens evenly, right? See how it evenly tightens? If you put them here, now you got to reach behind your head to tighten something. It's a pain there. If you put them over here on the side, well, how are you going to evenly, let's say you have an adjustment here. Well, now you go to tighten it. It's got a long edge here, short edge here. So it's still in the middle, so you get that nice even tightness. But then these keepers here, you just thread it through there, and it tucks it all around you, to the side, right? And typically what I've found with these as well is you kind of set it to whatever you want, and you just leave it there, and it just stays in the keeper. So it's not sitting there fighting in your face. So
we're on the right track here, folks. Yeah. That's
and it works really well.
Thank you for doing that. Dude, what is this?
You'll also see the down?
No, the denier, nylon. That's nice.
So it's a 10 denier fabric. So
but it doesn't feel
0.7 ounce per yard fabric, really lightweight.
It doesn't feel sticky.
The higher quality typically, and this is a generalization, but the higher quality of the fabric, the more tightly knit it is, the less coating you have to put on to make it downproof. If you've got a low quality fabric to start with, you typically have to put a lot of coatings on it to make sure the down can't leak out of it. A big thing though here is down. For the last 10 years, we've had this narrative of DWR coated downs.
Explain DWR treatments so people understand what that means.
Yeah. Durable water repellency treatment. So what that means is that when stuff comes in contact, like if we had even water right now to pour on top of this, because we'll treat fabric with DWR coatings, and that'll keep it from soaking into the fabric. It'll bead up so you can kind of brush it off. So it keeps things from absorbing water, getting wet. But we've been treating down for, say, the last 10 years with a water repellency treatment. But this particular quilt now is using nano gold particles that are permanently bonded to the down.
Okay, so what does that mean? This is even more water resistant.
We did it to make it more expensive, yeah. We just wanted the most expensive quilts.
If you cut this open, do dollar bills fly out?
They do, yeah. That's exactly.
Awesome.
I mean, more or less. They take recycled gold out of electronics, zap it with a crazy laser, get it to a specific size measurement, then they treat it into the down, and it permanently adheres. So like a DWR will wear off, right? You have to retreat down, fabrics, everything with DWR over time, whereas this is a permanent treatment. So let's say you buy a quilt and you take really good care of it and you have it for 20 years, you're not retreating it with gold, right? But the gold, what it's gonna do is essentially it excites the surface tension of water, okay?
I'd be excited if I was covered in gold too.
I love gold.
Precisely. So water gets excited, it sees gold, gets all excited, jittery, and it keeps it from beating up into droplets. Once you have droplets, it's that much harder to dry out because then you got to re-break surface tension. So essentially what it does is it makes moisture or water stay in a gas form longer or easy, or turn back into a gas form easier, keeping your quilt drier.
Okay. If you open this up, can you see gold particles?
No, we're talking nano gold particles. Yeah, so they're micron sized embedments into the down. Yeah, very, very hard to see.
Can I ask you a question? Is this like the goose that laid the golden egg?
This guy. We're just gonna wait for this.
I was so excited to tell that joke.
The nano gold aspect of it, what it really does is it just allows that just body heat is enough to really dry this back out every night.
That's wild.
And have it be 100% loft day after day after day dry.
I'll just say this. I've used a lot of quilts, and this is the only quilt I've never had drafts. That's the most important thing to me, is getting drafts, because I feel like if you're going to be cold, it's drafts. And I'm excited to know that this is going to dry out faster, especially when you're in high condensation environments. I'm glad that you kept the shark's tail, as I call it.
You'll see here, like, we call it our anatomic.
Thanks, Emmett.
The shark's tail.
Thank you, Emmett.
We should.
How come you're not that nice to me?
I'm gonna make a listing specifically that's called the Dan Becker quilt. It'll be the same quilt, but it'll be labeled Dan Becker on the website. We'll call this the shark's tail. We'll put a golden goose in the picture.
Egg. Can he be pooping a golden egg
exactly
that then soaks into the quilt?
Yep. We'll get all the Dan Becker terminology on here. And like when it comes to specs, it'll just say like, how much does it weigh? It'll say ask Emmett.
Ask Emmett.
Yeah, Dan's, exactly. I mean Emmett's email on the listing. It'll be good. But yeah, we call this like our anatomic foot box. Essentially, like the idea is that your toes kind of splay out when you're laying on your back. Right?
Oh, dude, was the other one like that? Mm-hmm. What?
But I think we've changed that up just to like maybe a little more aggressive there.
I'm not a back layer though. I am a side sleeper. I have a question for you. How come you never went down the open foot box route?
Yeah,
like everybody else does.
My honest opinion on that is that if you look on all the ones that zipper down like that, all of them have straight edge all the way up. Production-wise, if you've got a straight edge and you just have to sew a zipper right here to create a foot box, there's a reason that these cost more. Like if you go to a website that allows you to spec it out, it'll cost more to make this foot box than the zippered one. So
really?
Yeah, you'd think a zipper would be cheaper, but it's easier labor-wise to make a straight edge, sew the zipper on there. And then, because like you gotta create baffles here, you gotta create like inside of a baffle, like if you've ever done this, Dan, you'll see these are called, like box baffles. There's a chamber in there, right? So now you've got to do that through an entire foot box. That's so much harder than putting a straight line here where there wouldn't be any loft there. So I would consider a zipper for us in a warm weather top quilt.
Okay, and then the big question a lot of the nerds are gonna have out there, ultralight nerds, is how much does this weigh?
Yeah. The 15-degree model is 24 ounces. The 30-degree model is 19. So it's
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
like
not bad.
we'll never be, our company will never try to be the very lightest. We try to be
That's still pretty
extremely
light.
light.
Come on,
yeah,
dude, that's pretty light.
It's-
Honestly,
I mean,
if
it's in the
you're
ballpark.
literally whining about like 2 ounces for the better,
the drafts.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, exactly. Then you got.
Yeah,
You
we
got some
really try to
problems.
focus on in-field performance. We spend a lot of time backpacking, trying to use it ourselves and make sure that it's not just for a spec sheet. So I think we need a full demo. You should just climb on the table here and let
No,
everyone
I'll
see
break
what it
my table.
actually looks like. You know,
Emmett would do it. Sure. Emmett, come out here. Climb on the table. This was part of the job description. This video just got really weird. How's it feel?
okay.
It's comfy.
See how this kind of like
Yeah.
tucks in around the edge.
How's it
here.
That's pretty good, honestly.
Just
Yeah.
get them real. Snug.
Nothing awkward about this at all. We love the quilt. We'll see you on the next one.
I hope you can edit that better than it's like the whole thing.
No, Emmett, these are ones Emmett has fun with. YouTube is a rabbit hole of information. So in order to solve that problem, I wrote a backpacking course where I took my 10 years of backpacking experience and the 400 YouTube videos that I filmed and condensed it down into just 18 videos and a few lessons for you to learn. All you have to do is go to my brand new website, danbeckeroutdoors.com, and look for the course.